What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Shop Sports. We're here in the coffee shop with your boys Kevin Fox and me, Zach Miller. How you doing this morning, Kevin?
Oh, dude, phenomenal, man. I debated whether or not I'd wear Bills merch ever again, not just on the show, but ever again. I did just buy this hat at Abercrombie, and I'm a big fan, so I did it. I buckled. It took me 4 days, so it's a new record.
You know, we've talked about this before, but I do think you are the most quick reactive fan in the NFL. Like, I think you hold the record for within 3 minutes of a game changing your entire opinion on a team.
And you know what?
So quickly.
I'll just, for the record, Zach is referring to a tweet that he called me out on in the first quarter when I was skeptical of the Bills' offense, and think I would consider myself right on that one. Sometimes hot takes are accurate.
But you know what was funny is you had tweeted that, and within minutes the Bills got the ball, immediately went down the field and scored a touchdown like it was nothing. Like, it was just so quick to just being like, oh, never mind.
I think I'd like to check the tape on that. You know,
I think it was what 9-2, right? Or 9-0. Yeah, at one point in time.
Yeah, it was.
Off of just some horrible turnovers. And then it was just like egregious. The Bills march down the field like nothing, score a little touchdown, and it's 9-7, perfect game. Honestly, Bills would have won that game, really, if they just didn't have 12 men on the field. Comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I want to absolutely throw up. Actually, fake news that it was Damar Hamlin.
It was not Damar Hamlin.
Fake news.
There's not his fault.
But it is funny, though, for people who want it to be like a bit. I get it.
Yeah,
it's Before we get into the main part of the show, I do have my new favorite portion, which is
Kraken.
Oh yeah, I gotta give it to him, man. This is what they come for, man.
We're a multifaceted podcast here. Some ASMR always.
Can you hear that pour a little better today?
It more sounds like someone's peeing in the other room.
That's, you're taking the wind out of my sails, man. I got a nice nitro here, about to chug it. You're talking about urination. Hey, what a start to the pod. It doesn't get better. Bill's blowing it.
Absolutely love it.
Urine. Yeah, dude. We're off to a hot start.
Well, let's dive right into the first sip question then.
Yes, sir.
Which, let's before we get into the first sip question, first sip question, because we've shot morning shows and we've shot night shows on this podcast because of our schedules. We're never that flexible on here.
I love it.
Are you a morning shower person or a night shower person?
Oh, dude. Yeah. And it's hard to answer this question, right? Because there are circumstances that make both valid. But if all things are equal and I have to be a presentable, functioning human being on that respective day, I'm going to go morning shower, man. I just think there's that freshness, there's that cleanliness, there's that little extra spike of like good aura and good smell in the air. You clean your energy off a little bit. I don't knock the night shower people, and I know plenty of night shower people who smell fine all the time. And I know, I look at them and I'm like, you didn't shower today, but it's not judgment. It is within the last 24 hours. It's just not today. It's not within that sleep. I like to shower off the sleep. I like to shower off the nightmares that I had, So I'm thinking morning shower for sure. But in practice, if I'm not being a functional human being, if I'm on a streak of laziness or whatever, a night shower, it does totally get the job done 100%.
Yeah. See, I can't do that. I will shower at night after I work out or something. I don't mind showering at night, but I'll always shower in the morning. And what's funny is it's just people don't realize if you don't have curly hair, you don't understand the struggle.
The struggle.
But
talk to me.
There is no option to showering at night for people with curly hair unless you are going to wear a do-rag or have some sort of nightcap on to keep your hair. Otherwise, you end up with this at about 7 a.m., which just doesn't fly. I can't roll out of bed and be like, oh, I showered last night. For
those of you just listening, my man looks like Mozart right now.
It's not a great look.
My man
so
looks
that's
like
just
Beethoven.
not an option. There is no way to keep my hair from being all over the place. If I shower at night, it may be fresh, clean, but curly hair keeps its form. So when your head is pressed against the pillow, it stays flat like that. There is no wet it down, comb it in the morning, and it's fine. Like that's just not an option. I have to shower in the morning, or I wear a hat all day. Hence the hat on the podcast today. Which knowing me for a long
Not a
time,
hat
is
guy.
this the first time I've ever worn a hat in front of you? It could be
One of three, I think. I would.
one of three. Yeah.
It's rare. It's a rare occasion.
And it only
Wow.
happens if I don't have time to shower in the morning. So I'm a strict morning showerer, unless I will say, not too long ago, I did have a buzz cut. Got a nice fade, and I didn't care. At that point, I was
That
like, I'll shower whenever I want.
that's the move.
You don't even know.
I love a good
didn't have
buzz
to do
cut.
it.
Next time I cut my hair is gonna be a buzz cut. Everybody's gonna jump on the pod. They're gonna be looking for the, no, you can't really see the locks as much, but we got a little, we got a little
A
situation
little
going on.
tuft
But
in the back.
I think people will be mortified when they see me without a mane. But I really think you can't go wrong. I give
Just
credit where it's
shower.
due to
That's
the
the
people who
real,
shower.
yeah.
Exactly. Good for you. That's part of the battle.
That's the only
Um,
thing I care about here. Just shower,
yeah,
please.
and like I said, if I got nothing going on that day, or if I'm working from home that day, a night shower, it isn't even like I prefer it. It's just the strict what laziness necessitates. I think night showers are for the lazy. I really do, and I don't mean that in like a. But who wants to wake up and then shower? Like it's such a chore.
I don't think that's all of it. I do think some people like to go to bed clean. There are some people that very much care about, like, I don't want to go to my bed dirty with my
It's
day
true.
of like dirt
It's true.
and then like hop in my sheets because then my sheets are dirty. So I do understand. I think if I could pick, I would probably be a night shower person because I like the idea of like my bed always being like a clean
That's a
place.
good point.
Like I'm
Yeah.
always clean when I get into my bed. I like that idea, but it's just not possible for me.
I'm not sure if there's a true, like, more heightened, relaxed feeling than jumping into clean sheets, clean comforter, freshly showered. That is
So
the
good.
cleanest feeling in the world.
No.
So, shout out to that. You can't have that without a night shower. So I'll
No,
give that one
I
some bonus
I
points.
think I would indeed pick night shower if
Yeah.
it was possible for me, but just genetically not in the cards, I'd say. Um,
Poor
but
bastard.
let's move on to some sports content here. We actually have a second quick question today, in line with
Yes,
a
sir.
quicker episode here.
Yes, sir. Bite-sized
And
episode today. We might be coming at you a little extra over the weekend with some more content, but
yeah, we'll
bite-sized
see what we can
episode.
do. And it's about Thursday night football, which we're recording on Thursday, so we can't really talk about the game because by the time you hear this, it's going to be over. Should be a doozy though. Cincinnati
Can't wait.
Ravens,
Can't
good
wait.
game. First good Thursday night football we've had all year. Would like to point that out. It may hit the over, which I believe it has not hit all year. In
Ew.
points.
It hasn't?
Gross. It
That's
has definitely
disgusting.
been close to where people are like, if you bet the under on Thursday night football, you always win.
It's like the McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Just keep rolling it over.
But we'll see today because these two teams are rivals. But in terms of Thursday night football, and I know players have talked about this multiple times because they don't like Thursday night football.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Yeah.
Monday night football, whatever. You still get a long break. Should we keep Thursday night football? And Louisa and I talked about this too, where she's like, okay, now you have football on Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Saturdays during the holidays because of college football. So then you got Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday football. Every once in a while, they'll throw in weird games at you.
Tuesday.
Is it worth it? Is it worth having Thursday night football?
Yeah, man, and it was difficult. Once again, not unlike the shower question, it's difficult posing this question because I see both sides, and that's what this podcast is for, right? We're trying to tease out the question. We're trying to get past the initial. There's going to be an emotional response from both sides, right? The fans want it because it's another day of football. It's another day of content. It's another day of vegetation in front of your couch. It's another day of betting. It's awesome. I love for Thursday night football for that reason. I love being a fan an extra day. I love having 3 hours to lock in my schedule and do nothing else but sit down and watch, Tyson Bagent face up against Bryce Young. It's a great feeling. But on the other side of the token, and I think this is probably the side of me that rings a little louder and that I think is a little realer, the health and safety of the players is clearly jeopardized. They are clearly less safe. They're clearly more likely to get injured. Uh, it's sort of like the ultimate short-term gain for a long-term possible repercussion situation is sort of a benefit cost there. And the quality of the product just goes down so much. all of us, you, me, everybody we follow on fantasy football Twitter, NFL Twitter, Bills Twitter, we all acknowledge we're going to watch it no matter what because we're scumbag degenerates who just, will
Deviants.
whatever product the NFL will put in front of our faces, we will, we'll drink it. But honestly, it the players hate it and it's not as safe and it's a worse game. It's always a barn burner. It's always a doozy, even when it's great teams. Tonight, hopefully with holding. To those of you listening, you know already whether or not we're talking out of our asses on this or whether or not we're spot on. But I'm thinking it's going to be a great game. I'm glued to
It
my
should
TV
be.
during that game.
Should be a
Yeah.
great game.
Let's embarrass ourselves too. I think the Ravens are going to win. You want to make a prediction?
I do too. I think
No.
the Ravens are
I think they're
the best, if not the second best team in the NFL.
definitely
right now.
top 3 team in the NFL. But sir, that's my answer. I think I'm sort of like on the drum flats debates. Gun in my head, I'd probably vote to abolish it. I'd probably vote to eliminate it, but it's 51-49. I there's a big part of me that loves it.
I'd probably vote to abolish it. I love an extra day of football, but it's not good football. I don't like the idea of players getting 3 days before they have to play again.
It's
You play on
insane.
Sunday, and then it's like you usually get a rest day on Monday, so that's just like Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just not enough time. Realistically, these guys are getting banged up all year, so it's never enough time. But especially having them do Thursday night football, you don't have as much time to prepare. You're seeing more and more sloppy games. I rarely
Yeah.
ever am like, wow, Thursday night football has been so good lately. Like, it just
Yeah.
doesn't happen. The slates, for some reason, also end up being horrible. They end up always picking the worst teams on Thursday night football. So it's the games that I'm always like, wow, I got to work anyway, or like, I got to do this. I'm doing something on the side. So it's like, I don't love it. I
Yeah.
think maybe you could swing like Friday night football, but then you got so many other conflicts. They don't want to do that because
Yeah,
of
and,
like,
and I do respect that. Being a person who's never really particularly, no disrespect at all to the children, being a person who's never really cared much for like college football or like high school football, like I've always been like, so they'll miss the games, like But I do understand the culture of football is so much
no.
more than just watching the
I'll
games.
never want them to double dip college and NFL. That would be too much for me. I like that those are on separate game days. Saturday is for college, Sundays for NFL. Totally good by me. I think I'd probably vote to abolish it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the parts of us that like the separation though are the parts of us that are used to it. Right? Like they don't do that with the NBA. They don't do that with the MLB. You know what I mean? It's I mean, I know
Well,
there are
they do, but you're not counting the fact that March Madness never's at the same time as the NBA usually.
no, I think
A
it
lot
is.
of
I think the
times
NBA runs right through it, doesn't it?
they're on the similar days, but usually they don't overlap too much. Like March Madness, a lot of play in the mornings. Like games will start at like 10 a.m. or like noon, and then the NBA games will start at like the 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. slate, and that's only during the bracket tournament. But it's like, I don't know, NFL and NCAA, like they have overlapping fans. You would never want to do that from a product standpoint of being like, let's have two of my products that I get the same fans for on the same day.
No,
Like, that would
yeah.
just be bad. Yeah.
I think I respect it more so from a culture standpoint because it's respect. Like think about the players that are playing in those games that might be fans of those teams. Like that's really the case where I'm like, okay, yeah, I could dig that. But for me personally, and again, it's no disrespect. It's just it's never affected my viewing.
You just don't watch NCAA.
Not as much, honestly.
Yeah. So
Significantly
that's
less.
the difference. It's like if you have to choose, because that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to be like, well, I can either watch NCAA or I can watch NFL.
I mean,
And you don't
I
want to
would.
do that.
I mean, do you watch NCAA? Like,
Yeah, I do. I would watch NCAA. Not a ton. I'm not like a DV, like a diehard, but I do watch the CU games
yeah.
when I'm
I've
working.
probably watched about 5 to 10 games this year, and I've enjoyed it.
All right amount. Yeah.
It's good. I definitely, once draft season rolls around, that's when I really start thinking about college football, and I guess that's kind of what the NFL wants.
College football is arguably a funner product, but
I've heard people
it's
say that
just
before,
not
just because of the scoring.
necessarily has the same. Yeah, the scoring, just like kind of like
Yeah.
the creativity of it.
Yeah, I do always respect the creativity, and it always infiltrates the league eventually.
I also just like having a choice. I don't like someone being like they're on the same day. You can only pick one.
Yeah.
So like if I want to watch college football on Saturday, I can without it infringing on my NFL time.
Yeah, and I think I respect the NFL for knowing its power that it does that, but I personally am also just like, you know?
Yeah, not your cup of tea.
It's not even that it's not my cup of tea, it's that there are things that are, I watch The Challenge and I watch Survivor, and they're on at the same time, and it's like, "Oh, I'll tape one. Catch it after."
Yeah, but that's different. No one wants to catch a sports game after.
You're right, that is true. You're right.
It's very different from like taping a show to being like,
But
yeah, my favorite team is playing. I'll just catch it after because I want to watch my other favorite team is playing because they picked the same day.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want the Knicks to be playing at the same time as the Bills
I
because
hate
then
it.
you're kind of bouncing back and forth.
I had the
That's
Knicks
what I'm
on
saying.
I had the Knicks on a laptop the other day. It literally happened. So I during the
You
Bills.
just
So
don't care because you're not a huge fan of college football. If you were, it would be a Knicks Bills situation where you're like, just pick a different day, please. I don't want them playing at the same
it would
time.
definitely be like I'm saying, it would definitely be less convenient. It would definitely be annoying, but I just think sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles with scheduling.
I think you'd care more than you say you would because you don't care for the product as much.
It's
But
different.
if it was something that you were invested in, I think you would be like, just put this on Saturday so I can watch them both.
And you know what? At the end of the day, that's the way that the universe has set it up. So even if I can bemoan all I want, but that is what I got. So I'll live with my Saturday free football and my trash Thursday product until they hopefully eventually take coffee shop sports advice and abolish it.
Not only abolish Thursday night football, not college football on
No,
Saturdays.
obviously.
I want to get that clear. I would like to
No,
keep that on
I'm
Saturdays.
saying no. I'm saying too. Yeah, but I like that they add the Saturday games after college is over. It's nice. It's a fun little little.
I
treat.
kind of need a day, man. I like having some other stuff in my life.
You're right. You're right. Because you and I are like, yeah, we'll drop everything for football. You're right, actually.
All right, let's move it forward. We got a week 11 slate. We're gonna do some game previews. Just pick a couple interesting matchups, pick some storylines out of it, some repercussions.
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead and take the head on this one.
Definitely.
I'm interested in the Sunday night game, man. Vikings Broncos.
Yo, it's a
Who would've
good
thought,
one.
You know,
Yeah.
After at the beginning of the season, you're kind of excited because it's like, all right, you got maybe Russ and Sean Payton can bring the Broncos back, and then obviously you've got Kirk and the Vikings probably with a heater offense. We'll see what they can do. It's not that. We're getting the streaking teams. Vikings have won, I believe, 5 straight. Correct?
Are you kidding?
I'm gonna double check my math here because they are 6-4.
That's an extreme number. I think you might be right.
Let's take a look here.
They were down bad early in the year.
Saints, Falcons, Packers, 49ers, 5 straight Bears. The last game they lost was to the Chiefs by 7 points in October 8th. So they're rolling.
And they
the
hung in that game.
Broncos are now on a 3-game win streak as well, 2 of which came against the Bills and the Chiefs. So you have 2 of these teams who are on win streaks in the most improbable areas. The Broncos defense at the beginning of the year looked like it was one of the worst in history. It was letting up so many points. Against the Dolphins, left up one of the largest games in history, and they seem like they've turned a leaf. They came out, held the Chiefs to a low-scoring game, won that one, came out, I would say held the Bills' offense as dysfunctional as we saw it. Like, credit. They were making plays. They were there.
Surtain had absolute cuffs for my boy Diggs.
You know damn well he's my favorite cornerback in the NFL right now.
He's a freak.
So that defense looks like it's doing better. Russ seems like he has a little bit more handle of this offense.
Oh, dude, Russ looks damn good. He was looking like a magician the other night, man. He was doing those little flips, man. Like it looked like Seattle Russ, man. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch.
He seems more comfortable. Him and Sutton seem to be clicking it a little bit.
Great
We're seeing
chemistry.
Javonte Williams getting like heavily involved now that he's healthy, which is the real steam engine to that offense is going to be the run game. Him and McLaughlin have a nice little 2-headed backfield there.
Yeah.
And then the Vikings are with Josh Dobbs are rolling. They won a couple with Kirk. They are still winning with Josh Dobbs. There's the rumors that Justin Jefferson could be back this weekend as well, which would be a boon to the offense. Man, it's just kind of weird. In another same situation, early in the year, the Vikings defense looked horrendous. But Brian Flores has kept it up with the blitz. We're seeing some young players come out on that defense, make some plays, and they're not nearly as bad as they were. So it's like kind of similar stories with these teams where it's like they started the year off rough, and now we're just on a win streak, and one of them is going to come to the end on Sunday Night Football, and I got to say, man, I'm looking forward to it. Not even as just like a Vikings fan, but as a football fan, I'm really looking forward to it.
No, I think it's a great pick, and I think that Dobbs is definitely going to make some magic. We keep doubting him. We keep thinking it's going to cool off. It's not going to cool off. Josh Dobbs is absolutely like a legend. Like he's having a Linsanity run. And I am looking forward to seeing how it plays out. I think Denver is a good team. Russ looked great against the Bills. He's looked great for large stretches of the season. Denver might not be who we thought they were. And that's very interesting for the league, because I kind of wrote them off, to be completely honest with you, early in the year. Time will tell if they write back or not.
I got a question for you before we move on to what you got here.
Yeah.
What do you think the spread is on this game?
My guess off the top of my head, who's home?
I believe it's in Denver. Yep.
I would guess that Denver was 5-point favorites.
Denver is 2.5-point favorites.
Wow, that's a lot of respect to the Vikings.
Yeah,
they have a better record. I mean, the Vikings are 6-4. I mean, you blink and they have a better record than Buffalo. They were 1-4 to start the season. That's why you can't.
They're not far out of the NFC North race right now.
That's why you can't. Yeah, right.
The Lions are very, very good.
Yeah, the Lions are.
That's going to be tough. But yeah, they are not out of that race, and it felt like they were going to be. But they have a better record than the Broncos. The over-under right now is 42.5 too. So not disrespect to these offense either. That's a good over-under line. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it, man. I'm gonna go to the other
pick before we move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the other island game this weekend.
Wait, before we go to the next, give me your game pick.
Oh, for
Sunday
that one.
Night Football. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh,
what are you gonna take?
I don't. Yeah, this is hard to do. I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Denver just because of how insane their defense is played and how sharp Russ has looked. He's not turning the ball over at all. I'll probably say Denver wins that game, 27-24. What about you?
Not bad. I also do think Denver will win at home. I think their run game is stronger right now. Their offensive line is stronger. Vikings could be missing Alexander Madison. Already are out Cook, so it'll be the Ty Chandler show. Yeah. But if Justin Jefferson is truly back, that frees up a lot. So then I could see it being a closer game. I would probably.
Because then Surtain can't lock up, Addison.
Jordan Addison. Yep. Yeah. And the Broncos give up tons and tons to the tight end position.
They do.
So Hawkinson should be having a good day.
Smash play for fantasy.
I don't know. I'll take if JJ plays. I'll take the Vikings.
There you go.
I'm gonna go 21-17 Vikings. I think it'll be a little lower scoring than the over under is saying.
That's very fun.
But all right. What are you looking at here?
It's the lowest hanging fruit in the world, but I don't care. We got a Super Bowl rematch on the docket. Eagles Chiefs. Very excited to see. There are two teams that record tells you they're the two best teams in football. They've probably lacked some of the most style points out of anybody in football. They've won ugly more than anyone, but that's the NFL. It's a week-to-week league. You have to go 1-0 every week. These two teams have done that better than every other team in the league. So I have a lot of respect for them, and I'm very excited to watch them play. I think Jalen Hurts is definitely proving that he belongs in that top 7 conversation. There have been times where he's been less than, I'll say, impressive, but it doesn't matter when you're winning football games. And, the Chiefs, who have the greatest sideshow in NFL history with the Kelsey and Swift relationship, that's just a fascinating dynamic to just continue to watch. And a Super Bowl rematch where really we all thought Jalen Hurts should have gotten one more crack at taking the lead in that game. He did not. There was a penalty, which was a penalty, but it was ticky-tack. And now we're going to have hopefully the outcome of that game that we should have had last year. We'll hopefully get to see both teams have the ball with a chance to win at the end. And there's nothing else you can ask for as a fan of football than that.
Yeah, this is one that I think is going to be a little different than what people are expecting to see out of this team. I think it's going to be very much a trenches game.
Yeah.
Where the Philly has probably the best O-line and possibly the best D-line in the NFL. And the Kansas City Chiefs defense is for real. They are not, no joke this year. They are a shutdown defense on a lot of the field. The over under in this game is actually 45.5, which for a Chiefs Eagles game is a little lower than before. Usually you see these go up to the 48 realm, possibly the 50s.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good line. I think this could be a little bit of a slugfest between these two teams. Obviously, the Brother Bowl, the Kelsey is going to be a huge storyline. You'll see that pushed a lot.
The podcast is going to have a good week. Yeah.
The New Heights podcast is great. If you haven't listened to it,
it's a good pod.
They kill it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I do think it's going to be a little bit of a dirty bowl, mainly because Chiefs can't get their receivers going. And then obviously the run game is going to be an issue for the Chiefs because Philly just stops the run. So if it's just Kelsey or nothing, I think the Chiefs could struggle a little. And the same thing, this Eagles offense hasn't been clicking great. You're out Goddard, and the Chiefs defense is really, really good. So I think it might just be a little bit more of a dirty bowl than we saw on like a high flying Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the kind of game that could surprise us if the teams get hot late. But it does profile as a game that, like you said, lower over under than we're used to for these juggernaut matchups. Quarterbacks who are both still two of the best in the game, just maybe not at the heights that we're used to them being, especially statistically. Mahomes, I want to say
he's just not having to do it the way he has to.
Yeah.
His defense is so good. He doesn't have to. But also that's the main story, but these receivers aren't doing it for him.
No,
he's Kelsey and then nothing, and you have Pacheco back there who's doing it. But actually, the reception perception rookie report came out today. If you haven't already checked it out, you should.
I will definitely be doing
great.
that.
It's right when we get mid-season, full 12 rookie wide receiver write up.
Nice.
And
shout out to Matt Harmon and RP. Everybody who watches us probably knows them, but if you don't, receptionperception.com. Zach works for Matt Harmon. He's one of the best analysts in the game.
Rashee Rice, pleasant surprise, has actually been doing pretty good. I think he should be getting a full-time workload there in Kansas City. But I mean, there's no one else really that's stepped up there. It feels like the kind of Sky Moore season is over. Kadarius Toney season never really started.
He sucks.
They will need somebody at the end of this year.
Yeah. Oh my God, they need somebody so bad. And Kelsey's running out of time, man. I think he's got a couple years, 2 or 3 years left, which is not nothing, right? Like he'll continue to be the guy that he's been, but geez, get the guy somebody to take some of the weight off those damn shoulders, those hulking shoulders, please.
Yeah, most definitely. I do think they miss Tyreek Hill more than they necessarily did last year.
For sure.
And I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know why that is. Juju wasn't. I mean, Juju was actually still doing stuff though. He still did end up with like 700 yards, which I'm not sure any of their receivers are on pace for right now. Yeah. But it just really is kind of like a cry. They need help there. But let's pick one more game. Oh, also before we finish this one, what do you think the odds are right now? It's at Kansas City, mind you.
My guess would be that Kansas City is 4-point favorites.
2.5-point favorites.
Again, it's the same. So when in doubt, just go with 2.5. Okay.
2.5. I don't know why you'd pick 4-point favorites between these two. This is a close game, man.
They're home, man. They're what are they? Are they 8-1?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's just what they do. That's a winning team.
Didn't they lose? They just lost.
Oh,
to the
they're
Broncos.
7-2. They're 7-2.
7-2. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a winning team, man. They know how to win.
Philly is 8-1 though. So
right.
That's the difference there.
Yeah.
So who do you think wins this game?
I hate to say it, but I do genuinely believe. You know what? I'm gut checking actually. I think Philly's got him. I think Philly is going to come out on top. I think it's going to be. I would sneakily bet the over. I know it's not popular, but give me Philly 31-28.
I'm not taking the over there.
Taking it sneaky.
I'll also take Philly for the upset, though. I do think they can get it rolling here,
right?
But I'm gonna stick with that line. I'm going 24-21 Philly.
And what's the over under? Is it 45.5?
40. 45 and a half. Yeah,
So
so
you're
just
tiptoeing that
sneaking in that
under.
under.
You're
Yeah, I think it's
tiptoeing.
like I said, I think it's a great line.
Yeah.
I don't bet great lines, so you
Those
won't
those
find
guys,
me
those
sending
Vegas guys,
any
man.
money on here.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Let's throw in just a quick couple NBA games before we got to hop off here. What's
Sure.
one you're looking forward to this weekend?
The big one for me is Mavericks Bucks. Great teams on both sides of the bracket. We have an Eastern team and a Western team. Hopefully Luca and Kyrie and all of them are fully healthy because man, both these teams are surging right now. Giannis did just miss a game, and that's never fun, man. When your stars miss games, it's never fun. It takes out a little bit of that magic from the matchups, but the Bucks have been holding it down. They've been holding it down regardless with or without their star players. Dame dropped 37 and 13 last night. Dame's just doing what Dame does. He's so good. So I think Mavericks Bucks is the NBA game that I'm most looking forward to watching, apart from obviously all the Knicks games that I will just be glued to because they have a heavy slate this weekend. But Mavericks Bucks is my pick.
It's kind of an icky schedule this
Yeah,
weekend. If
there's
I'm
a lot
gonna
of
be
bad
perfectly
games.
honest with you,
Yeah.
I'd probably be pretty interested in Magic Pacers, just to kind of see. I think the
It's a
Pacers have
hipster
been looking
pick.
really good.
It's a hipster pick.
I've been liking watching the Pacers, man, and Halliburton's got to be up there for one of the best guards in the NBA.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah. And I love
and
Obi Toppin too. RIP.
yeah, Obi
Miss
got
him.
there killing it, man. And then the Magic, all that young talent which we're getting to see. Banchero's been playing great. Just
Yeah.
sunk a game winner the other night, which was,
Stud.
of course, I mean, just classic. What you gonna do
Right.
with no former number one overall picks? But
Yeah.
I'll
Talent.
be looking forward to that one. And then I'll throw in the Thunder Warriors. OKC's been playing really well lately. Steph and the Warriors have been better than I expected them to be. So
Yeah.
it's two teams that I think, in my opinion, have been better than I expected them to be this season. I'd be excited to watch that. I would want to watch Shai, Josh Giddey, and like we talked about, the best named team in the NBA.
Oh, just great names across the board, man. You love yourself some Shy, man. That's your favorite
I do
player
love
ever.
Shai.
He's
I don't
great,
know a favorite player ever, but I love him. I love Dort.
Yeah.
Giddey. It's
Yeah,
all been fun to watch.
Dude, Giddy's the truth, man. I'm such a Giddy fan. Great hair.
Great hair. Yeah, and Warriors, obviously, you've got all the Draymond stuff in the media right now for choking out Rudy Gobert. But
It was a bold strategy, Cotton. I can't really say I know what he was going for there when he just pulled up and put him in
dude,
the
that's
sleep
just
roll.
classic Draymond, man.
Yeah.
Dude just does whatever he wants.
He's wild for sure. He's wild.
I'll be excited for that one though. I do think it'll be fun to watch. Steph
For
should
sure.
continue rolling. CP3 off the bench. It's been fun to watch the Warriors, and I was not excited to watch the Warriors this year. So they've got me back intrigued a little bit.
They'll always be. I think Steph Curry's the Pat Mahomes of the NBA, man. As long as he's there, they'll be extremely competitive and extremely good.
Yeah, he's a freak, man.
Yeah, he really is.
I'm a Celtics fan, so I will probably watch the Celtics, but I
Yeah.
don't really love Celtics Raptors, and then
Yeah,
Celtics Hornets is fine, but it's not.
if they don't dog walk
anything
both those teams, it's
crazy.
not great.
But if we're leading through to next week, Wednesday is Celtics Bucks, and that will be a very exciting game. I'm looking forward to that
I
tremendously.
will absolutely be tuning into that game as well. That will be, and it's the day before Thanksgiving too. Ooh, come on,
Let's go.
come on.
Had a nice little Friendsgiving last night, actually.
Nice.
So
You're in
had
the
a good
spirit.
time. Yeah, I'm in the spirit.
All our
Stayed up.
Thanksgiving themed antics, which you guys know we're one for the antics, they will be coming next week for sure. We gotta
Most
have
definitely.
some Thanksgiving themed questions and conversations.
All right, man. Well, that's going to conclude our short little coffee shop sports pod today.
Little espresso
sorry
shot.
for keeping it. Yeah, sorry for keeping it short, everybody. Had to squeeze in some time here this morning.
The listeners are devastated right now.
I know they can't just wait for another hour
Sorry,
and 20-minute
guys.
episode.
Yeah, they're
But
they're
we
itching.
appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back at you again next week. Adios.